Here in the UK, our theme parks seem to be having some very major operating issues as of late, with huge financial losses across all Merlin theme parks. Yikes. A lot of new rides have been busy testing for the first time, including one that looks like this. Yes, that is real. And in the future, what could be the craziest roller coaster ever created finally has an opening year officially announced. There's been so much going on because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, hello and welcome back to the weekly series that didn't have an episode last week. The insanely consistent series this past week in theme parks, where we take a look at the news in theme parks over the past 7 days. And as said, a lot has been happening. So if you want to skip to specific stories, please be sure to use the video progress bar chapters below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. These videos do take quite a lot of time to create and of course research. So any support towards the channel and these videos would be greatly appreciated. And what some of you might appreciate or might not appreciate is the fact that because I wasn't here last week and I'm still not, what is happening? There is now a whopping 2 weeks of stuff to go through. I might as well start a new series. So to make sure we're not here for a millennium, it's time to quickfire through this all. Let's do this. Lost Island Theme Park are busy testing their brand new RMC Raptor Fire Runner, as you can see from this video here, and damn, that's got some pace to it. As does every RMC Raptor, because it just seems to get its speed out of nowhere. But that is looking very nice, and also at that same park, a Vekoma SLC that they decided to retrack the other month, and I don't know why you would do that, because it's not going to help very much, now has a maintenance schedule that will help keep it smooth and help keep it running forever. This is a maintenance program that shuts it at 4 PM every Wednesday. Okay. Montezooma's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm has had that new loop installation completed. You have entirely new roller coasters being built in about 2 years, and this loop took 3 years. Sidewinder at Elitch Gardens, an Arrow shuttle looping coaster, has reopened after 2 years of just being dead. Talking of dying, that's not a good segue. Buffalo Bill's Resort and Casino is going to close potentially forever on July the 7th this year. Which you may be thinking, Buffalo Bill's Casino, why am I talking about casino? Don't do gambling, kids. Well, I'm talking about it because a hypercoaster by Aerodynamics that's 225 feet tall and reaches speeds of 80 miles an hour and apparently is a little bit rough, exists around that resort and casino called Desperado, and there's a lot of rumours about what's going to happen to it in the future, because it's going to close. We'll see what happens. Talking to something else that's closed is Kumba at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, a B&M sit-down coaster that's been closed for quite some time, and again, a lot of rumours about what that could turn into. We got confirmation that it's reopening in summer, and it seemed to have been open on the app, but actually wasn't at the park. I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that one as well. Universal Orlando's Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket is also closing soon for a whole entire replacement this time. Building and construction has actually started taking place already on this brand new replacement. Test Track 3.0 at Disney World's Epcot has begun previews before it opens, and there's been a lot of hearsay online when Disney rides open. They say, oh, it's not as good as the previous rendition, or oh, what have they done to this thing? Why have you gotten rid of a river? Well, surprisingly, Test Track 3.0 has had very positive reviews, and that's really nice to see, you know, a positive outlook on a Disney ride. A lot of people don't seem to think that very often. Excited to try that out in September. One of the biggest stories that probably caught a lot of people by surprise this past week is the fact that Quantum Accelerator, the new Intamin launch coaster by Intamin at Six Flags New England, has actually had its opening time delayed to next year. We saw it testing, we thought everything was going all right on it, but no, they've announced it's going to open in 2026 now. I'm surprised in the typical Six Flags Cedar Fair way we didn't get a statement that said, this is all Intamin's fault, how could you do such a thing? Because, you know, they've never done that before. A huge park that also had a huge delay of a ride that opened last year that was all Zamperla's fault was Top Thrill 2. And we're not talking about that one this time. We're talking about Siren's Curse, the Vekoma tilt coaster just next door. Cedar Point have done previews for that ride and opened it to the public. And it does actually look like a really cool ride. It's got onboard audio, there's quite a lot of water around and some really nice like colouring of the supports and everything. And that main drop where it does tilt downwards looks amazing. Unless it gets stuck for a very long period of time. I will ride that one day. I hope. That's going to be a crazy ride. And you know what else would be crazy? If you could build your very own roller coaster. Well, a group called Magic Texture, if I'm pronouncing that right, has released pre-orders for a thing called Coaster in a Box, where you can purchase a coaster, it will be delivered to your house, and you can build it in your back garden. And the smallest track itself is $110,000 with a layout that just does this. I won't be doing that for a video. Maybe I'll just build one myself. But if you want one, it's there. Cacau Park is opening very, very soon in Brazil. A brand new theme park, and it's obviously going to take a few more years than just it's going to open next week. But they have shared some photos of one of their Vekoma thrill coasters, and that stall looks insane. I don't know what Vekoma are on nowadays, but they're mental. Let's talk about some weird rides now, shall we? Because there's been a couple different strange roller coasters testing around the world. One of which is this thing at Chimelong Paradise. Yeah, it looks okay, I guess. A new looping coaster at Fun World in Bangalore, India has been testing as well, and it just, yeah, these rides are not made properly. Especially this inverted coaster right here. You may think it's a B&M invert. No, it's some knockoff brand. And you know how wing coasters have that dive drop to them where they go over and then they drop down? This invert does that. And all these coasters look really weird, but Happy Valley Shanghai are actually going to be buying a proper B&M stand-up roller coaster soon. It's listed on RCDB, there's a few articles about it, and that's very exciting to see them getting a stand-up roller coaster. A very strange option, but I kind of like it. As we head to Europe, I'm going to do it again because I haven't done it for a while and I miss it. Wow. Starting at Futuroscope in France, which have recently debuted Mission Bermuda, which looks like the craziest water ride ever. There are details already coming out about their 2027 roller coaster, a brand new one that could be a suspended coaster in a motorcycle position. Pretty much the Vekoma straddle coaster that we mentioned going to Six Flags Magic Mountain, I think it was, quite a while back, so we might be seeing one of them very close to home in Europe. Disneyland Paris in France as well has obviously been busy with just being Disney and announcing and showing random stuff whenever they wanted to, as they have done in the past week, because they've shown us a brand new Space Mountain lighting package which looks really, really cool. And we also have a look inside the World of Frozen dark ride that is coming in 2026. Liseberg in Sweden is opening their brand new ride for 2025 in only a couple of days. On July the 4th, a breakdance model flat ride. And if you're unsure what that is, let me break it down for you. It's one of these things, it's going to be partially indoors and it's going to be very, very cool. Wiki's Whirlwind at Plopsaland, Belgium, that has now started testing a brand new ART Wild Swing. We're actually getting one of these in the UK next year. Woohoo! In their Wikiland, and that actually does look quite fun. Isle of Discovery is set to open 2 brand new drop towers in the final area of the park, and Plopsaland Deutschland has made a very big announcement regarding potentially one of the craziest roller coasters ever made, officially opening in 2028. A brand new Mack Rides Tomorrowland themed spinning coaster. I know it sounds like it's just going to be Ride to Happiness 2, but they've already said previously it's going to be crazier than that, which has me very scared for what on earth Mack Rides are going to come up with, but also intrigued, and we now know 2028 is the year that will open. Moving swiftly on to the UK news. I travelled without you realising there, because there's been a lot of good news, but also a lot of bad news, especially for Merlin theme parks. First of all, going through some of the good things, Alton Towers have reopened Get Set Go Treetop Adventure and actually reopened it early compared to when they said they would. The new track layout on there, I don't think the queues have been much different from before, so it's just the same. They also reopened Subterra very quickly after putting it on the maintenance page, which is great to see. And they've even now started using the full power water jets on Toxicator and having it fully wet the riders. We've been waiting for this moment for so long. There's been such hot days recently, and I'm so glad they decided to switch it on for these high temperature days. And they've also added new storage boxes as well, proper storage boxes. A lot of people moaned about that originally, so it's been done. We'll come back to towers in a little bit, because Grand National is now back open at Blackpool Pleasure Beach after an extended refurbishment, and there's actually a video online of it valleying on the final drop, where staff had to like push it up the actual hill, which is really funny. But that has returned, and they've also announced that there's brand new scenes, I think 5 new scenes coming to the Wallace and Gromit Thrill-O-Matic dark ride. I'm in heaven, so hyped for that, and I'm going to be there opening day. The ride's already open. refurbishment day to check that out. And I guess the other thing is that on the 3rd of July, we should be finding out a lot more about Universal Studios Great Britain, because they have put their planning application towards the government and said, here it is, check it. And they're actually releasing that publicly on the 3rd of July. So I think you might be seeing this on the 1st or 2nd. And if you are, watch The Field tomorrow on the 3rd. It's going to be a very exciting episode. But now we get to the somewhat worrying or sad news about our parks this week. Or I guess in some cases forever. My major 3 concerns about theme parks here in the UK come from 3 different things. The first of which is the fact that Thorpe Park have made a brand new entrance sign. Now you may be thinking, oh, this entrance sign, what's wrong with that? It was in a dire state, and obviously the TV screen in the middle never worked, and it does look a bit nicer, but there's a lot of AI generated pieces within that graphic. And over at Alton Towers as well, there is a menu at the Oak in Chains that every single image on it is just an AI generated image. Now in my opinion, using AI generation for something as big as a front entrance or as menus in a restaurant at these theme parks is so bad. Probably not the park that has done this themselves, it's probably the external companies that do the graphic designing for them, but surely they realise at some point that, oh, that Oblivion train has 3 rows on it where 2 rows have 6 or 5 seats and the one at the back has 1 less, and the fact that the Hyperia logo on the front entrance of the theme park itself isn't even correct. What? I'm just surprised the parks didn't see it and think like, well, what is this? We'll just get someone to change it or do it properly. And it is slightly worrying going forward how many things like this we could see. I really hope not, but I thought it'd be worth a mention because I've seen a lot of discourse about it online, and I do have my own opinion on it as well, hence why I've spoken about it. But the second major point that I'm worried about with UK theme parks is the fact one ride is closed at the moment, Rita at Alton Towers, and it's pretty much been closed for half the year now. And why does this worry me? Well, first of all, it worries me because I really want it gone. So, can it stay closed? But that's my point. The fact that we don't know what is happening with these rides when they do close or when they have these maintenance that's apparently not routine. We had it with Stealth, now we've got it with Rita. There's been various rides here and there closing for a lot of time, especially like last year, I'm pretty sure a lot happened. It's just worrying because what if people want to go on these rides and they're just not open, and then you're going to lose visitors and lose capacity? But what's the chance that more rides at Merlin parks close for long periods of time and just nothing gets said about it? It is slightly worrying. But that leads me on to my final point, probably the most worrying of them all, and that is the fact that Merlin Entertainment reported a loss last year of £492 million. Now obviously losses are expected, and you're also going to have depreciation of value of certain attractions and I guess rides that are built, how they do and how many visitors come in. But the thing is, in 2023 they only lost £214 million. So what's that about? Now obviously Merlin do own a lot of midway attractions such as Madame Tussauds, Sea Lifes, which they seem to be selling a lot of recently, the Blackpool Tower, everything like that. Well, they don't own that anymore soon either, but that seems to be a major part of why they have had so much loss, and the theme parks could easily come under that too. But the most interesting part is the fact that the operating costs that they've spent over the years, in 2023 they actually made a profit on their operations of £172 million, but 2024 made only £132 million in the other direction. Yes, their operating losses in 2024 was £132 million. No profit, just loss, which then sort of shows why they're trying to reduce the operating costs by sort of restructuring staff and getting rid of certain people, and it's all a mess. Merlin did say, we will continue to maintain prudent practices when investing in our existing estate. I just feel like this whole thing in general is showing us that the staff restructuring, like we've seen with the whole entertainment team around the parks in the UK, all of that might still continue happening, and the investments that we're supposed to be getting, such as even Project Horizon, maybe like new coasters or new rides at Thorpe Park when they need them, that sort of stuff, I feel it's just going to be pushed back loads. Who knows what the future of our UK theme parks hold? Could we see the likes of Legoland being sold off to another company? They did say that they would move away from an own and operate model for some of the Legoland parks, preferring to just operate it and not actually own it. Could we see that for Legoland Windsor? And could we see some of the Merlin theme parks being sold off to other companies as well? Six Flags buy Alton Towers and go, nope, the tree line doesn't exist anymore, and build a 400-foot roller coaster by Zamperla that closes after 8 days. Now, I'm not too sure myself, but you know, it's interesting to talk about, and also quite worrying. Can it be 2031 yet? I want Universal just outside my front door. What do you guys think to all of this Merlin malarkey? What does it mean for our parks in the future? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode, because I'm here. Goodbye.